Hello and welcome, my friends. This is Brian, the Speaker for the Dead, coming to you with a spoiler-free review of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Now, me and my daughters went and saw this last night. We asked my son, and he's just like, eh. So I'm like, all right, well, we'll go without you. But you can tell, I wore this shirt last night, so, I don't know, 2 days, right? Well, I only wore it just to go to the movie. I mean, if you have a Ghostbusters shirt, you have to wear it when you go to the movie. Anyway, so was this movie good? Was this movie worth it? It was all right. It was all right. Okay, but I haven't watched anybody else's reviews on this. I have no idea what anybody else has said on this film because I decided after the Dune Part 2 debacle that I was not going to go and watch any reviews because I'd watched several reviews before I went and saw Dune Part 2, and I was pissed off at everybody who'd reviewed it because reasons. If you want to find that out, you can go watch my Dune Part 2 review. Shameless plug. But no. After that, I just thought, you know what? If I see anybody else that's going to talk about this, I'm going to wait and go watch their videos after I've gone and seen it? Yeah, like that, whatever. Yeah, English is my first language.
Cause of what?
Anyway, so I came out of this movie with very mixed emotions. This movie, if you just wanted to categorize it into what it was basically member berries and missed opportunities and meh.
Darn.
I mean, yeah, so the 3 M's, member berries, missed opportunities, and meh. So I tell you what I did like. Let's go over the likes, and then we'll go over the things that I had a little bit of struggle with. Like I said, no spoilers. The cast was good. The cast was good. Basically, you're getting the old cast and the new cast from the last film, Afterlife. Now, a lot of people didn't like Afterlife, didn't think it was that great. Now, when I saw Afterlife in the theater, I remember coming out of it really thinking it was good. I was like, wow, that was, I mean, but that's coming off of Ghostbusters 2016. Which, literally any Ghostbusters film after that film would have felt like I almost swore there. A GD masterpiece. A gosh dang masterpiece. And that's so. I mean, the expectations from 2016 was just, it had lowered the bar so low that, I mean, all it had to do was not be absolutely horrendous, and Afterlife was going to do a billion times better. So honestly, that film, benefited from low expectations. And I remember going back and we bought it after it came out on Blu-ray, and I went and watched it again the second time, and I was like, this isn't as good as what I thought it was when I saw it in the theater. So apparently I'd had time to process, and my brain was like, yeah, no, Brian, that's, you were suffering from delusions. And anyway, it's not a bad movie. Afterlife is not a bad film. In many ways, it's a pretty good film. But the thing is with this film, Frozen Empire, they go hard. I mean, hard on the member berries.
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
They fill this movie with member berries. They are playing on your nostalgia just massively.
Okay, so she's a dog.
And you will notice that throughout the entire film. I mean, because they're back in New York. They're back in the firehouse. A lot of things have gone back, and they play heavy to the New York original Ghostbusters movie themes. You're gonna definitely feel that every time you turn around. And like I said, I can't really explain that. If you've seen the film, you know what I mean. And if you haven't seen the film and you go see the film, you'll probably be like, yes, they did. They absolutely did. One thing I thought was great was short of Rick Moranis, they seriously went back and tried to find every single actor, character, and person that they could from the original film and put them into this movie. That's another of the member berries thing. You've got, I can't think of his first name, William Atherton, who played, the dickless guy, the EPA guy from the first one. He's the mayor. That's in the trailer. That's no secret. What I did think was cool, and I guess is a little bit of a spoiler, but it's not really, is the guy from the New York Public Library, the original guy who calls the Ghostbusters in, and he's there when they're interviewing the lady who got scared by the full torso apparition. He's in this. Like, he's in it very shortly, but like, seriously, I'm like, how did they find that guy? I haven't seen that guy since he was in the original Ghostbusters. And maybe I just haven't been watching the movies that he was in, but I mean, it felt like they had really, really tried hard to go back and find every single character, secondary character, and everything from the original film, which really gave it that nostalgic, cool, unexpected. It's unexpected to see these people in this. You're just like, cool, I got that guy again, and he's still alive. Because I'm sure the lady who played the lady from the original film in the New York Public Library part, the one that gets scared, I'm pretty sure that because of her age, she's probably not with us anymore. I don't know that for sure. William Atherton, though, I have to say, okay, now I'm trying to stay positive here. So let's keep going positive because there's some negatives coming. So I want to be as positive as I can. It was cool to see either the original sets or recreation of the original sets. They're using a lot of the props or something very similar to the original props, recreations from the original Ghostbusters. You're going to see the Louis Tully's, the colander with the wires and stuff sticking. That gets used in this one. There's just, it was really great to see the original cast come back. And they are in this film much, much more than in Afterlife. Afterlife, they're token characters. But this one, not at all. They are in this movie, in your face, full front, all the time. They're there a lot. They do spend a lot of time with the new cast, but there's definitely a balance you felt like they were trying to get with bringing back the old cast and putting those two casts together, and I liked that. I really did like that. It was fun to see Ernie Hudson. He's a pretty big part of this film. You've got Dan Aykroyd, he's in this film a lot, spends a lot of time involved. Annie Potts, you see her quite a bit throughout the film. The one person you see the least of is Bill Murray. And this is a little bit of a negative. I mean, I'm glad he's in it, but like, he feels like a peripheral character. Like there was times when I'm just like, I don't even know why he's in this. I mean, there's some really funny moments with him. Don't get me wrong. It's Bill Murray, so there's always going to be some funny moments because he does funny so well. But I also just felt like he was a little bit wasted. Like, I felt like he just got a little bit wasted. His character was kind of just like thrown in wherever, as where the other characters really feel like they're part of this movie. He feels like an add-on, and I don't know whether he didn't really want to do it and he just showed up because, hey, they're paying me $5 million to show up for 5 minutes in this movie, whatever. But it was good. It was overall, but it wasn't. Let me say it like this. So let's get into some of the negatives. it wasn't worth going to the theater for. I mean, I'm glad I saw it in the theater, I guess. But as far as like, because I mean, going to the theater for a big production movie like this, it's always going to kind of be worth it. But it wasn't worth the money. I mean, it cost me $76 to get 5 of us into this movie. And then by the time you paid for the popcorn and everything, it just did not feel like it was worth that ticket price. And I have really stopped going to theaters very much unless it's something I'm pretty sure I'm going to like. So the last 2 films, Dune Part 2 and now Ghostbusters, I've walked out. Now Ghostbusters, I definitely felt better about when I left than I did with Dune 2. Dune 2, I just literally wanted to strangle Denis Villeneuve to death. Okay, not that bad, but I wanted to give him a black eye.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Because I felt like that's what he did to Dune. And that's not okay. But realistically, this movie suffers in a lot of ways from missed opportunities. Now, I would have to say out of the new cast, and I don't know their names because they're not as big of names and stuff, but the girl in the film, the daughter of Spangler, granddaughter of Spangler, I thought she did a great job. She did a great job. I liked her character. I liked her character in Afterlife. She was more my favorite character in Afterlife than anybody else. But at the same time, I felt like they went more snotty bitch with her in this film. Like teenager who's misunderstood and nobody understands me and I'm the smartest one around here. Blah, blah.
Oh, that's an image I'll never get out of my brain. Ah.
They really went heavily on kind of that kind of a change with her. I don't think that's a spoiler. I hope that nobody feels like that's a spoiler, but I want you to be prepared. But she's still kind of more of a likable character in this than most of everybody else. Or I liked her character. Everybody else did a great job, especially the original cast. There's no complaints. They did a fantastic job. They're veteran actors. They're just tremendous. Like I said, the only caveat I have is Bill Murray's character. He feels like he gets thrown in there and pulled out and thrown in there and pulled out with very little understanding of what he's even doing in the film.
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Ernie Hudson, there's a backstory. You get little snippets of dialogue that kind of explain like what he's doing. I think it's interesting that the only black Ghostbuster from the original film is the one who's made it big and is very, very wealthy, and is a huge philanthropist now and all this stuff, while the white dudes from the original film are nobodies and poor and like there's not a whole lot said about them. Ray's running his little occult bookshop from the second Ghostbusters, like you see him in Afterlife. So he's really not moved on. He's kind of in the same place as he was all the time. Ernie Hudson's character is the only one that seems to have moved on and made something of himself. Bill Murray's character, almost nothing is said about what Bill Murray's character, Dr. Venkman, is doing. He feels very peripheral. Like I said, it's just they don't explain like what he does, where he's been, like nothing. None of that is covered. So it's just William Atherton's character, Dickhead or Dickless is he's become the mayor. You know, there's this extremely unlikable guy from the first film becomes the mayor of the city. Of course, that's the way politics works, honestly. Really horrendously nasty, terrible people become the mayor of New York. So, I mean, that's true to character. I mean, William Atherton, I like him. I like him as an actor. He really kind of got typecast there for a long time because of Ghostbusters, because, I mean, that was an iconic line by Melody. Yes, this man has no dick. But let me tell you, there's a vibe from some of the characters two characters in particular, and you'll know them when you see them in the film. There's a lesbian thing kind of going on. And at first, like, it doesn't feel like that. About halfway through this relationship, you feel like they're friends, and you feel like this is a sweet kind of friendship. We understand each other. And by the end of the movie, you totally think they're going to make out in front of you. And I was just like, why? Why did you have to take that and make it weird? Like, it was creepy. It was creepy. Because they took this, what started out as a sweet, innocent relationship, and went like, let's be total lesbians. That bothered me a lot. Because it was unnecessary. It was inappropriate for the age of the characters. Just not okay. The Asian kid from the first one, and I will have names and everything when we do the live streams. I'm just giving you an overview. The Asian kid from Afterlife is in this film. He's great. He's very funny. Very good in this. I enjoyed his character, but you don't really get the same interaction between him and the daughter that you got in the first one. Those two, they become fast friends. There's almost a little bit of chemistry between them. They're both kind of nerds and and stuff, and you really got kind of a chemistry in Afterlife with those two, which is one of the things that made them so likable. In this one, that's not there at all. There's definitely still a kind of a friendship chemistry there, but nothing really else. Friend Rolford or whatever from Stranger Things, he's in this, but he feels very much like an afterthought. This is very focus-centric on the daughter. And I thought I felt like he was wasted, absolutely wasted in this film. His character doesn't seem to have any direction. There's like, they don't do anything with him. I mean, it is, and the stuff that they do with him felt unnecessary. Felt like you could have cut that out of the film and you would not have lost anything. We see Slimer in this, and again, completely misused. Like, I was like, if you're going to do something with Slimer and you're going to keep putting him in these films, you have to do something more with him other than just sliming people. Like what the real Ghostbusters did, the cartoon from the 80s and 90s, where Slimer actually becomes kind of a mascot. Now, we saw that kind of going in that direction in the second Ghostbusters, where he pulls up in the bus and he gives Tully a ride to, his museum and stuff. And so you felt like that's where they were going with him. Well, in this one, he just slimes people. That's all he does. I don't know if that's a spoiler or not. His name's Slimer. Yeah, I don't think I let any big secret out there. It was kind of fun. Him and Wolford have that interaction. But like I said, after the first time, you're just like, okay, all right, moving on. And you didn't feel like he moved on. But seriously, he was underutilized in this film. Wasn't even there. Kind of the same thing as Bill Murray. You're just like, I don't know why you're in this movie. I really don't, because you're not doing anything. You're not important to the story at all. But the start of the movie was really cool, very creepy. And one thing I did notice that they did with this film this time is the ghosts seem scarier. And you'll know what I mean in several different... I mean, there's still the funny, fun ghosts and stuff, but some of the creepy ghosts are really freaking creepy. They are nightmare fuel. Some of them, I'm just like, ooh, okay. That wasn't... I don't remember that a lot in the original Ghostbusters, but I kept looking over my kids, they're all in their teens and stuff, so I'm just like, nobody's sleeping with me tonight, just so you guys know. Like, you stay in your own beds. Dad's bed's off limits. No kids. That's going to sound more awkward than I meant it. But anyway, this is a meh film. This is, like I said, you're going to get some really great highs, and you're going to have some crashing lows, and you're going to walk out feeling like, okay, well, that was a thing. So I don't know. And maybe on a second viewing, which I will not be doing in the theaters, I'll like it better. Maybe I'll have the exact opposite reaction that I had with Afterlife. It'll actually get better with time instead of worse. But there is some really sweet moments in this, some kind of cool character development. But there's also a lot of missed opportunities. William Atherton's character, I felt like, got misused. The mayor he comes off. It's just it's not right. It's wrong how they. It's like I just kept thinking, really, he didn't learn anything in all these years, and that kind of gets brought up in the film and stuff. But I mean, still, he just. Like, his character doesn't seem realistic this time around. In the original one, he's an EPA guy. He's a total douche. He's exactly what an EPA person would be like. Just a horrible, nasty person who thinks that they're right and that they're the only person that cares about the environment, and they're just a total douche. So, I mean, that comes off. He's very genuine in the first one. This one, you just feel like, okay, I don't... Really, you've gone all the way through all this. You become the mayor... And you're kind of okay with the Ghostbusters in the beginning, but then you're like the plotting thing to get rid of the Ghostbusters, which, I mean, of course that's what he was going to do. I don't think I'm giving anything away there. It doesn't make sense how it happens. It's kind of crazily done, and it doesn't feel natural. Like it feels like, all right, like they just forced him to go back to the old stereotype. I don't know, as where the mayors and the other ones always, especially the originals, like he seems to be, he's a politician, but he's not stupid. He's a New York politician. He knows how to get stuff done. I don't know if I did a very good New York accent there, but he's a pragmatist. He's going to get stuff done. Even if he doesn't like you, he'll work with you to fix this city, Anyway, but William Atherton doesn't feel like he gets to do that in this. He doesn't grow, he doesn't change. He's just like, eh. And so it's just. But overall, this is a 50-50. You're gonna do what I did. You're either gonna come out thinking, oh, this is great. But even my kids, who really liked Dune Part 2, and I did not, they came out going, so they liked it. My one daughter, my youngest that went with me, she came out like floating. She thought this was the greatest thing ever. I mean, just because of all the member berries and the things she loves and stuff, she's not going to see this as kind of violently as probably I did. But anyway, so, tread carefully. I can't say I'd tell you to go see this in the theater, but, enter at your own risk. Enter at your own risk. You're either going to love it or hate it, or you're going to walk out going, eh. But more than likely, you're going to walk out going, yeah, you're going to end up arguing with yourself like we did, and then we discussed it all the way home. And, we were all just like, this was great, but this was kind of crappy, and we did that the whole way home. So, anyway, I hope this has been confusing and off-putting for you, but no, I hope I've given you a sense of what we walked out of there with. This I'm not sure what to think about this, because that's you'll probably think this about this video, and that's what I felt coming out of Ghostbusters. So I hope I've played that off as good as I can. Anyway, thanks for being here. Look forward to seeing you guys on the live stream tomorrow. We're going to talk about this with my daughters, and we will go from there. Thanks for being here, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye now.